Hello everyone, it's Philip from the AntiBSGroup. You know what? Over the past week, I've tried to make a couple of videos this past week, but they didn't come out I wanted, but just 'cause I wasn't really up to it, wasn't really into the move video, and it didn't come out per 100% how I really wanted. So I'm gonna make this video. It's gonna be a short one. It's Saturday night, about -7 outside. Nice, comfortable. Nice and cool, -7. But I'm going to say this. In Canadian politics, there's this big scandal going on. To me, it's not a scandal. It's bad. It's an issue. It's a serious issue. I mean, it's kind of funny that if you look at it, it seemed like all evidence pointed towards one of the parties in the last election, May 2nd, 2011, of directing basically robocalling certain voters, apparently, to go to non-existent polling stations. Um, Me, personally, I got a call say, go to this polling stations, I'm not going to buy it. I'm going to call Elections Canada. I'm going to say, I'm going to verify my polling station. In my case, it's the fire hall in town. It's about a 10-15 minute walk from where I live. So it's not a big deal. Yeah, I walk pretty much everywhere I go, even to work. It's about an hour walk to work, so it's about a 6 kilometer walk. So Farrell's about a kilometer away from me on foot. Kilometer, and a little over a kilometer. But I'm going to say this whole situation. Oh, it's the conservatives. They're the ones that are so devious, and they're like the con. Like, really, people, you don't know. You don't know. It could be. By all means, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to scratch them out off the list of being the perpetrator. I'm saying, you know what? Look at it, the whole picture. You're looking at it, it's like, oh, with your bias built into it. And I see it as I'm a Canadian. I'm Canadian. I love my country. And I see it like you guys are just trying to rip the country apart. You're literally trying to rip the country apart by when this stuff happens. Like saying it's it's this, blah blah. Well, you know, we don't know. It's this the early part of the investigation. Um, if I was to investigate this situation, I would be like, okay, who had the most to gain from this? Who had the, who would have gained from doing this? So I would go on the board, block board, or one of those new high fangled boards. Have conservative, NDP, liberal, green, all this. And I say, okay, what they had most to gain? Well, of course, leadership, the Prime Minister's office, all four. Majority government. Or, already I have a way is to, another way, block a conservative majority. So it's Liberal NDP. To look good in the public eye, helping people get to where they need to go. Okay. That's not. So, I mean, look at it. I mean, everybody says, oh, it's conservatives. They're always doing dirty tricks like this. Well, yeah, they might have done a few things here and there, but where's your proof? You don't have any proof. You're believing the mainstream media. I don't trust them. I don't trust Elections Canada when they say stuff like this. Because to me, Elections Canada is a corrupt organization, government organization. They basically swept liberal stuff, liberal events, liberal things what the liberals did or the parties did under the rug, yet they go full force against conservatives. Well, I by no means I'm a conservative supporter. I admit I am conservative, but I also am Canadian, and I see what I need to see. I don't follow the conservatives like a blind follower. I'm not a blind follower. I look at the issues. Okay, like everybody knows, the main issue I have is gun control. I don't believe in it. Crime rate, healthcare, education, the national defense. Those are my issues, and foreign affairs is not really a big issue for me. So how I look at this and look at this whole situation is like, what the fuck are half of these people talking about? It's kind of ridiculous if you look at it in a way that most people don't look at this. They say, "Oh, it's service." Boom. They're the ones that do this. They're the ones that do this. I look at this. I look up and shake my head, and I am royally pissed off by this. Um, I do. I don't agree with about 80% of stuff the conservatives do. I do not agree with. Does that make me a liberal NDP or whatever? No. It does not make me any one of those parties. It makes me say, you know what? I don't agree with it, but I'm kind of on the fence on most of them. Okay, so 80% I'm either on the fence or I disagree with. The last 20% I kind of it's to do with the military I agree with. What I do with the firearm gun control I sort of agree with. Um, they're not actually that they're not going far enough. You ask me for gun control. Getting the gun control, a lot of gun control. Um, so I mean it's kind of one of these things. You have to know what you're doing, what these issues mean. I look at big picture. The oil deal that Obama killed to the U.S. kind of pushed our hands to go sell to the Chinese. And I say I'm the first to say, fuck the Chinese. They don't deserve our fucking help. The Chinese and the Russians, they're looking at this right now. I can just imagine what they're saying. Oh, they see weakness, so they're going to try to take over the world, become the superpowers that they once were again. Um, that just it's geopolitical bullshit. That's what's going on, really. We're being used as pawns here in Canada. Um, on that, I mean, if you look at Canadian history in general, you would see Canada is pretty much a solid country when it comes to helping people out. If you look at our history, I mean, it's quite amazing. Really, like people say, "Oh, we're a peacekeeping nation. We're peacekeepers. We're a nation of peacekeepers." Well, no, we're not. We're not peacekeepers at all. We have a nation of warriors. We are a warrior nation. I mean, I don't think I can pull the book up rapidly. I don't think it's handy anymore. But I know there's one book. It's Fortune's Favor the Brave. Is the one book. It's not handy right now, but it's a very good book. It goes through way before the War of 1812. It covers the French Indian Wars. Covers War of 1812. Covers the Boer War. It covers World War One. Covers World War Two. Covers Iraq. Iraq. First Gulf War. Um, Covers Korea. Okay, Canada, we are a warrior nation. People don't get that. More, I mean, if the Allies wanted a job done, any important task done, they didn't give it to the Americans. They didn't give it to the British. They gave it to the Canadians. They gave the important task to the Canadians. Why? Because they would get the job done. They would basically dedicate their dedication to the job, getting the job done. The mission was so high that they would. Canadians, we lost quite a few in Passchendaele. What else? Ypres or Ips. The Somme. We lost almost 16,000 or 17,000 troops in those areas. Passchendaele. So I mean, you gotta realize Canadian soldiers are some of the best soldiers in the world. We may not have best trained, the best soldiers, best mentality for soldiers. Um, we have one of the smaller militaries in the world, but we also one of the best, the most kick-ass militaries in the world. Overall, I rate Canada about fifth in the world for militaries, for national defense. Not on, I don't base it on the budgets, the defense budgets for the countries. I base it on training, the quality of the personnel, and type of equipment. They're, I don't base it on actually no, I don't base it on what they have. I base on the personnel, the training. I say Israel is one of the best trained, followed by the Brits, the Germans, the Dutch. U.S. they're seventh or eighth. Um, the Aussies would be up in the top 10. China, they have numbers. All they really have is numbers. But back on to let's get back into the actual robocalls that apparently were made. Um, you're tracking down. They tracked down the conservative that the conservatives use this agency. Uh, yeah. So what? The conservatives use that agency. Uh, they could have said they were Conservative Party of Canada and they're really the NDP or the Liberals. You don't know. Uh, Politics is a dirty business. I know that. Everybody should know that. So they want to get power. People, they just want the power. That's all it is. The Liberals are a bunch of power tripping egomaniacs. So is the less extent the NDP. Conservatives, they're very bad for that. That's one thing I don't like about the Conservatives. But I go by policies. I don't go on the people. I go what their policies are. So I vote based on policies, what they want to do. I don't like what the Liberals in the last election, like what the Liberals wanted to do. Didn't like what the NDP wanted to do. I know what the Greens wanted to do. They all were, just to me, in my opinion, were wrong for the country as a whole. I don't think green energy right now, it's adding wind turbines, and spending money on green energy sources is the way to go. Um, to actually put these programs into place. I mean, sure, why not put things in? But you don't blow billions and billions of dollars on these programs that will lead to nothing. Put the money to research into synthetic fuels, synthetic oils for synthetic items, man-made fuels, man-made oils, to lessen the burden on the fossil fuels, on the gasoline, the diesels, the oil, engine oil. Those are what needs to be done. Okay, I don't let people say, "Oh, why you do this? Alternative fuels." Okay, propane, yeah, natural gas, electric, yeah, great. Electric would be great, but there's a few drawbacks to electric. Range, charge time, and battery life. These are your three big issues that you're going to have to run into. Uh, and charging infrastructure, which goes into what the charging about. What would need to be done for electric vehicles, to have pure electric vehicles, is you need a battery, you need a quick change setup. That's a common car, common SUV, common truck. Well, the truck, SUV, minivan, and van. Which van, SUV, and truck can be the same type of setup, battery setup. What you do is you go in, you exchange the battery for a fully charged one. Have these every, let's say, same kind of service stations. Have them every 25 kilometers or a few in each town. But have one in each town that does the batteries. Small town, boom. Toronto, like major cities, you put more of these stations in due to congestion and all that. You don't want a car stereo, an electric car. You don't want a lot of high drain items. Uh, so, because you'll drain your battery faster, you reduce range. Um, what do you do? I don't know how to really do it fully, but you know what? It's doable. It's feasible. I know it's feasible, but it'll take the time. Um, Also, a lot of things people don't get is you can't just say, "Oh, it's this party or that party or whatever." You're just making yourself look like a fucking ass, a bloody ass. Okay. I mean that's just wrong. I look at the issues differently from most people because it's basically how I look at things. I look at things very differently. I see it what most people see as not a good idea. I see as, oh, that's a good idea. It'll work. It might work. Um, or they'll see as, oh, it'll work. It'll work. This will work. They'll see that won't fucking work. Because I look at it from a practical standpoint. I don't look at things from a standpoint of it has to work. It has to work. But you look at it. Let's take the long gun registry, the gun registry, firearm registry, and the Firearms Act as an example. I look at it and I see, okay, this doesn't work. Like you could see it in the writing of the bill, Bill C-68, that it would not have worked. It does not work. It gives too much power to the police. It allows the RCMP the right to reclassify firearms that are not dangerous. Case in point, the Army Jaeger AP-80, I believe it was, and the Walther G22, which is a 22 caliber, both 20 caliber rifles. They were reclassified recently because they looked like military style weapons. The G22 is a bullpup design, and the AP-80 Army AP-80 looked like AK-47 knockoff. You classify firearms based on appearance or based on technical specs. Okay, barrel length. Oh well, it's 87 millimeters. So fucking big fucking deal. Okay. Yeah, it's easy. It's easier to conceal. Big whoop. The guys on the streets, the gangbangers, the legal ones on the streets, they don't give a shit about barrel length. Personally, me, I'm a 1911 guy. 100, I think 112 millimeter barrel. Or the Glock 17, I think is 108 or 106 millimeter. I'm not too sure. It's within limits, within spec to be a restricted firearm. So I mean, you can't just go outright ban a firearm based on things. What it looks like, barrel length, all this. That's just wrong. Like you do a ban. I agree, but people don't need fully automatic rifles, or if it looks like a fully automatic rifle, I would personally love MP5 semi-automatic. I'm not gonna file the bolt to make it a fully automatic. Oh, actually, this year to make it a fully automatic. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna keep it semi-automatic. I don't like fully automatic. This is what makes my rapid fire, my finger. That's what makes it rapid fire for me. I don't need the gun to do it all the work for me. I'll do it myself. Okay. Um, Other than that, there's a lot of it's just warrantless searches. Uh, I mean, if there's a complaint, please come in and take your guns. Pretty much, all what the registry is for, these lists are for, is when they have all the guns listed, they can start taking them away, and they're starting to do that already. With the G22, the Army Jaeger AP-80. I'm worried about the rifle I want to get will be next on the list. Probably is next on the list. AR-15. But you know what? I don't really. I'm gonna fight it. People need to fight it. Fight the law. Fight the government on those issues. So I'm gonna basically end with this last final comments to sum up what I already said. Conservatives are being accused of election fraud, tampering with not vote tampering, but going and having an agency inform voters in certain 18 to 27 ridings or so to different polling station fraudulent or ghost or fake polling stations. Uh, do I think they did? I don't really know. I doubt it. Unless my gut says that they didn't do it, but I've been guess they don't. I don't think they're doing it. They did it. They could have, and whoever's responsible should be punished for it. Um, but it could also be the NDP or the Liberal or the Greens or whoever, also who knew the information that Conservatives used this agency. So, but an Election Canada is complicit. I think they're a very corrupt agency of the government of Canada. Is Elections Canada. Let them do the investigation, and also the Liberals do similar issues. Get swept under the rug. In and out scheme, Liberal invention, Conservatives tried to get away with it, got busted. So they tried to do it within the rules. They got nailed for it. So okay. I'd like to thank everybody for watching. It's about 8 o'clock Saturday evening, February 25th, 2012. Hope you all had a great weekend. If you're Canadian, hope you Ontario, Saskatchewan, Alberta. Hope you had a great family last weekend. And hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great night. Long live the Queen, long live the King, long live Canada. Have a great night. Bye.